Hey guys, Vaughn Scow here again, and I'm going to do sort of the Vaughn version of a demo on this Bugera Vintage 22 amplifier. I'm going to start out by saying that we all know that an amplifier sounds best with something sitting on top of it. Now back in the day that would have probably been a beer for me. Kind of a coffee man these days, so it's now set for optimum sound. Hey, I tell you what. I'm going to cut to the chase and tell you I've had this amp for quite a while now, and even with the stock speaker, and you know I'm pretty big on replacing speakers, even with the stock speaker, quite honestly, this thing sounds really frickin' awesome. I'm not going to run through the controls and what all they do and all that stuff because there's plenty of other videos that do that. I'm going to try to give you some real serious tone samples using my ultra versatile 4 pickup Strat. I'm dialed in for clean at just sort of a nice volume to talk above here. In the room I've got a little VU meter here. That's about 100 decibels, so you know, maybe a small club gig kind of level. I tell you what, let's give you some of those clean tones. And I will let you know, by the way, it's got a pentode triode switch, and which knocks it about in half power, and I'm in full power mode right now. Although I got to tell you, the half power actually works better on this amp than any I've ever seen it before. So some cleans. I'm going to do the kind of stuff I like to do. I'm up between the neck and the middle pickup. Okay, so for you know, conversational level, that sounds just frickin' awesome to me. Tell you what, I'm going to go all the way up in the neck pickup for a little while and do like my... So for clean neck pickup, that to me is actually really, really, really awesome as well. Okay, now I'm between the bridge pickup and the middle pickup for the... Actually, I like doing like... Okay, so basses right smack dab up in the middle, mids and trebles and the presence are all right at 12 o'clock. Reverb is cranked at about 3.5. I've got this clean gain. The numbers all go from 1 to 10 at about 8, and the master's down at a little below 3. Very, very, very pretty. I do want to mention, for those of you who've heard about this, the switch that comes with these guys, it's cool, but honest to God, in a club, I could not stand these LEDs because they are insanely bright. Blue LED for reverb on and off, and red for channel switching. So I think it's a nice feeling, aesthetically pleasing foot switch, but man, those LEDs are some bright honkers. Doesn't feel so bad here in a nice brightly lit room, but man, when it's dark, that blue reverb LED in particular will about blind you. Okay, so just for the fun of it, I'm going to go ahead and plug into the bright channel. The bright channel actually knocks volume down a lot more than it increases brightness. But I'm going to go ahead and crank the volume all the way up, then be at about the same place that it was. And let's turn the presence and the treble up just a little bit, because here's what I want to do. Okay, I just want to give a little bit of telly twangy stuff. It's really great. I mean, and let me tell you, you've heard it before, but these tone controls are actually insanely versatile in these things. These are tone controls that really do something. Bass control above about 7 ain't doing much, but... Okay, reverb. Reverb is some type of a chip on this. It's not a spring reverb, but I got to tell you, the honest to God truth is, it sounds great. Here it is cranked with this, you know, pretty bright, trebly kind of thing going on. It's not bad, is it? Okay, so actually, I'll take that over some of the spring reverbs I've heard. So that's pretty much the clean thing. I'm going to go back into the normal channel, and I am going onto my bridge humbucker, and let's see, I'm going to turn the presence back down to about halfway, and actually leave bass, mid, and treble all about halfway up, and let's go into the dirt channel. So I've got that set basically sort of for a Marshall-y crunch right now. It's got a mid-boost control. Right now the mid-boost is off, and it's really just straight up classic rock. Now when you hit the mid-boost, it gets really Marshall-y sounding. Very Marshall-y, and it sounds great at any volume. The amp is absolutely a giggable volume amp, you know, for small clubs and anywhere else, of course, with a mic. But man, it will acoustically keep up with even a loud slamming drummer, which blows me away for a 2EL84 amp. I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and take the middle boost off, actually scoop the mids down, and take treble and bass up and give it all the gain it's got in the front end. Truth is, it's not even bad at that. And as you can hear, not insanely dirty considering how high we've got the gain up. Yeah, it's about 100 decibels here in the room. Loud enough for a small rehearsal with the master at about 3. And I'll go ahead and kick it down to the half power for you. Personally, I like it better with all the mids in there. I love those mids, man. I'm going to shut up now, but Man, that is the Bugera Vintage 22, and it's a lot of people buying these things these days. I'm going to tell you, I've had the thing opened up. What I see inside sort of scares me a little bit. It's definitely got this, it looks boutique from the outside. It sounds frickin' awesome. Two things, though. I wish I had it here to show you, but there is, in fact, this wire shield that goes around all of the tubes in this amp. And that thing rattles like a son of a gun. It takes 6 screws that are incredibly hard to get at, to get it off, to even change a tube. When mine arrived, valve 1 in it was microphonic, meaning it was making all kinds of noises and squealing and stuff. And I had to take that stupid guard off just to get to tube 1. And, man, that guard is never going on again because that thing rattles like a son of a gun. It makes it tough to get to the tubes. So if you've got one of these, I would absolutely suggest that you take that guard off. And it probably had something to do with import, export, regulations. But it was pretty crazy. I mean, so I took that off right away, and I did, in fact, replace valve 1 with a 5571, 5175, whatever. Slightly lower power than the 12AX7. And what else can I say about this guy? Oh, that's about it. Sounds absolutely awesome. Little bit afraid of, how that kind of cheapy-looking circuitry is going to hang in there. But it's actually going out on its first show tomorrow night. So I'm actually jazzed about using it. It's going to be no pedals, just the amp and a cable. And after all, that's the way, I like it. Hey guys, Vaughn Scow here, and this is a comparison I am insanely jazzed about. This little Bugera V22 Vintage 22 has actually been rocking my freaking world, man. I am crazy about this amp, and at the price these things sell for, it's incredible. Check my other videos. You'll see I did a full-on review of this thing, and it's incredible, man, incredible. I love this amp, and it's cheap, it's made in China. Build quality, no, not up to, hand wired in America on a turret board kind of construction. But, man, these parts have came together to equal something way more, than the sum of their parts. It's incredible. The clean channel is, I'm a Fender freak. I've got tons of vintage Fenders, tweed, browns, blackface, silverface. This hangs in there with any of them. It does get giggable and have enough headroom, especially clean headroom, to gig with a band. And the overdrive channel is insane. And all you have to do is hit the little mid-boost button, and you go from a real Fender-sounding high gain to a real Marshall-esque, crunchy, lots of mid kind of gain. And I got to tell you, so I'm trying to find a speaker that will actually beat the speaker that's in the amp, and I don't think just any speaker is going to do it, because the truth is, whatever's in the amp is working darn good. So what I have in this Bugera cabinet, also running open back, it's an open back amp, of course, is the WGS Blackhawk. That's an Alnico speaker, and the speaker in itself, I'm going to tell you straight up, only costs like $100 less than the amp costs. So that's a mother of a speaker to put into an amp of this price, but I think the amp is worth the investment because these things are great. Okay, I got my little dB meter set up there for you to see the volume. I'm just got a switch here, a passive switch, switching between the two speakers, okay? And indeed, the original speaker in the Bugera is panned to your right, and the WGS speaker is panned to your left. And I'm going to play this stuff, that I always play. This is my between the neck and middle pickup stuff, and I'm going to start on the stock speaker and then go over to the Bugera with the WGS Blackhawk. You ready? Okay, that's from good to just insanely great, man. We're talking that is absolutely boutique, multi-thousand-dollar sound right there, baby. Wow. What did I do? I'll do a little fast changing between the stock speaker to the Blackhawk. Okay, well, certainly we are gaining some volume there, no doubt about that. But we're taking a sound that's really good, and we're just adding that extra little bit to it. Tell you what, let's go between bridge and middle pickup and do this. Okay, we'll start out on the stock speaker. Here we go. Stock to the Blackhawk. How about let's do this? Starting with stock again. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Definitely. That's exactly what I thought. I'm getting to where I really, really, really know the WGS speakers, and I kind of know what's going to work in advance. And this Blackhawk is a great speaker if you've already got a super sounding amp and you just want to take it that top 1% and make it 100% there. The Blackhawk is a speaker for the job. And so I knew we were starting with an amp that was already an insanely sweet sounding amp. And I know some of you amp snobs out there are going to say, man, I can't believe you're saying that about a Chinese-made amp. But, hey, play one yourself. Stick it next to your whatever multi-thousand-dollar amp and just try and say that I ain't speaking the truth. Okay, so let's go for the gain channel. And I'm going to start out on the gain channel without the mid-boost engaged. Same sound we got going on now. And just do like, let's see. Okay, I'm going to start out on the stock Bugera speaker, and then I'll switch over. So that's WGS. And that's stock. Okay, so I'm not hearing as much of a difference on the gain, and that's to be expected. Honestly, making really, really, really fat and juicy clean tones are a lot more difficult than making high gain tones. My buddy Brad and I have often talked about when like metal dudes talk about, the finesse and the nuances of their tones, we're kind of like, you can take a line 6 modeling anything, hit the metal tone, and boom, there you go. Okay, sorry to all you metal guys. And it's not quite that easy, I know, especially when you're trying to get it to stage volume. But honestly, the clean tones are tougher to really make fat and juicy and rewarding as you're sitting here playing. Let's go ahead and do some Stevie Ray stuff up on the neck with the dirt in there. And we're going to start on the stock speaker. Wow. Okay, they're both great. I would give the Blackhawk just a little bit of a nod there because it's quite a bit louder in the room, and that's often a good thing, especially on this amp has a pentode triode switch, and when you pop that sucker down, man, it actually sounds just like the amp, only quieter. So to me, getting this amp to sound good quiet is not a difficult thing. Getting clean headroom out of it or getting headroom out of it is hard. Okay, let's try to make this little booger into a Marshall. I'm going to hit that mid-boost switch that brings that snarly, nasally sound up, makes it start sounding like it's running on EL34s instead of 84s. And we will start on the Bugera speaker, switch over to the Blackhawk. To the stock. Wow, okay, those are both great. Let's do, I should tune my guitar, but I'm not gonna. So let's do just a little bit of this one last thing, and then I'll quit. I'm gonna start on the stock speaker. Let's see, to the WGS. Let's see, on the Bugera. To the WGS. That's stock. And that's your Blackhawk. Okay, so hey, there you go. My vote is insanely good sounding little amp. Add the Blackhawk in, and it goes from insane to I don't know, whatever it is that's beyond insane. Very, very cool. Honestly, just sitting here in the room, you probably can't tell it, especially if you're on computer speakers, but the main difference, I would say, is with the Blackhawk, the sound just sounds more complex. It does have a little bit more bottom, it does have a little bit more top, but yet it's just also got a little bit more going on everywhere. And of course, I'm going to say 5 or 6 dB louder. I'm sure we're watching the meter, and I'll look at it on playback. So, hey, until next time, see ya.